A flattened face. Ass crusher. No, I think it's a real slip and slide.
Okay. Welcome to Predator Minute, the podcast that breaks down the 1987 action sci-fi classic Predator 1 minute at a time. I'm Jon Zabriskie.
And I am Jeff Glover.
And today we're talking minute 82 of Predator. Minute 82 you could call the Raymond Barry of minutes.
Oh.
Do you know Raymond Barry?
No, who the hell's Raymond Barry?
Yes, well, if you were in the 50s or 60s, or maybe even 70s, you would know. He was this split end. I think it's the prototype position, the proto tight end or wide receiver position in football. But he was a longtime player for the Baltimore Colts. He is in the Hall of Fame. He set some records for NFL championship game receiving marks, like catching 12 passes for 178 yards when the Colts beat the Giants in the 1958 NFL championship game. And he was the head coach of the New England Patriots when they lost to the Bears in the Super Bowl in the 80s.
Oh, he was the head coach?
Yeah, he was the coach.
Oh, wow.
Coach.
I've never heard of this guy. Go Raymond Barry. Quite a career.
Quite a career. And he was one of these early top pass catchers.
I suppose Raymond Barry was the hero to everybody who wasn't very athletic.
I don't exercise.
Barry just didn't look like a football player. And of course, he was blind as a bat. Had not had a particularly distinguished career at SMU. Was not particularly fast. But the most important thing with Barry were these things.
When it comes to pass catching, here's the man they'll never replace. His name is Raymond Barry, and he has the surest hands in football.
Kind of like when Babe Ruth was putting up those home run numbers, and everybody's like, whoa, how's he doing it? And like nobody's coming close to his numbers. That's kind of what I imagine.
And then they all juiced.
Yeah. They all juiced.
Juice it up.
All of them.
Got any other 82s? Is that it?
I threw Jason Witten on there. Long-time Dallas Cowboys tight end, mostly because he came from the University of Tennessee, and I'm a long-time Volunteers fan. But surefire Hall of Famer just because he's been around forever, and I think he's still playing. I don't know.
Prescott fires, pass is caught. What a catch for the touchdown. Jason Witten.
He's been on everybody's fantasy team at one point or another.
Yeah.
We've all owned Jason Witten.
Yeah. All own Jason Witten.
Yeah.
That's the name of the minute.
That's right. How does minute 82 open, John?
And close. I'll do you a solid and tell you how it also closes this time around. Last time I kind of stumbled over that and I forgot to edit that in my notes. Not this time. But minute 82 opens with Dutch looking up at the camera, and it ends with Dutch creating a sharp-looking trap with not stick around, but
stick around.
Maybe another lesser knife of his.
Some other knife.
Yeah, some other knife. This guy is like loaded.
Stick around knife is still holding that guy to the post.
Stick around.
Yeah, it's still. Years from now, I want to cut away to that guy's skeleton and stick around, just stuck in him still.
Just hanging there. Yeah.
Stick around.
He's still wearing like a funny little cap. That'd be kind of cute.
Still sticking around.
Stick around.
Oh, right. We never saw him die. Who knows? Maybe he's still living. He's like eating a burger there.
Yeah.
Dead. All right. So, Jeff, you want to take us from the top of the first part?
Let's do it. Well, we left off with a Muddy Dutch having an epiphany here. The Predator cannot see him.
He couldn't see me.
When he is covered in mud. And this has kind of shifted the film a bit. We're right on into the third act here, giving us a showdown between Arnold and the Predator. And the playing field has leveled a little bit with this muddy revelation. So carrying over from last minute, we continue to see this bird's eye view of Dutch with the camera sort of moving along until Dutch looks up towards it. Then the camera stops, cuts back to Muddy Dutch climbing towards the base of a really giant tree. Mm-hmm. He stops, starts to walk through a little ditch, and then under some of the tree's roots, he looks up at the giant tree and then down at the roots over the ditch. And that brings us to about second 44 of this minute. We'll go ahead and pause there, I think.
A dialogue-free minute.
Mm-hmm.
So ring another one up for Predator having some dialogue-free minutes.
Yeah. And so here we just get kind of Dutch figuring out his surroundings. He has his own cloak, if you will, with the mud now. Mm-hmm. And he also knows I'm going to sort of suppose some things here. I'm supposing that he knows he can't get very far. He really doesn't have any supplies. Mm-hmm. He can't travel far. That would use up a lot of his energy. He doesn't seem to have any food that I can see. And the water, I assume he would just get fresh from the water source that he's near. So my point is, I don't think he's going very far. And I think Dutch has realized that as well. And so he now has his muddy cloak and is looking at his surroundings, trying to formulate a plan. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's happening here, don't you think?
Yeah, those are some good suppositions there.
Suppositions. That's the word I was looking for.
Suppositions. I think that's the word. Because when I'm watching this first part, I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's just looking around. But I like your take about he's taking in the surroundings and he can't go far and he doesn't have any food. Not that we've seen anybody eat any food.
Nobody eats.
We've seen some people drink a couple things with Billy and the Vine and Mac and Blaine drinking some little taste of home, possibly some whiskey out of a flask.
Hey, ¿qué pasa, amigo? Little taste of home.
I think we all would have enjoyed a nice scene of them like roasting hot dogs around a fire.
Or roasting that pig.
Oh, God, Mac yeah. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's all right.
Maybe he's got some pig jerky.
Oh, that'd be delicious.
Left over, yeah.
Some jungle pig jerky.
Jungle pig jerky.
Some JPJ hanging out his belt.
Oh, Bud Light, JPJ.
Some Bud Light jungle pig jerky. Right, the Natural Light would just copy like you said. Right. Natty Light.
Natural Light.
Jungle hog jerky.
Small deformed pig jerky.
Or jungle hog meat. I'm not going to eat hog meat. I don't think so.
Jungle swine fatty bits.
Chewy, delicious. I don't have a ton of notes from this first part because I think you nailed it. Just trying to break down what he's doing. I think him looking up in the tree is a good, strong callback to how they've been looking in the trees for the Predator for most of the second act, I would say. And now we're into the third act, kind of continuing that. But this time, like you're saying, probably not looking for the Predator, probably just taking, what's the word I'm looking for? Taking account? No, I don't know. Just taking in his surroundings and seeing what the environment has to offer because...
Taking stock.
Yeah, taking stock. Thank you. Because as we see the next part of the minute, he's not really messing around with the planning stages anymore.
Yeah. Now at near the end of this, oh, sorry, did I cut you off?
Oh, I was going to say the one thing I'll mention that I really made a note of here was the music. It's kind of fluctuating between what I thought were like business-like drums, dun dun, and these suspenseful horns kind of playing up. When it was sped up, I thought the track sounded kind of like the chase music from when the chase music when the Predator chased Anna and Hawkins, and then Dutch. But that's kind of reaching. Yeah, I don't have a lot.
The music here is good, and it kind of crescendos a little bit as he comes out of that little ditch and then looks up again, and it kind of calms down again. And near the end of this sequence, when we get to second 44 or so, I think we are to believe that Dutch has had some sort of little epiphany here, or
some idea. Maybe that's
at least an idea. Yeah,
that's what like the high horns I think are hinting at. At that transition, that idea, like.
Light bulb. Ding.
Yeah, a little light bulb moment, a little aha moment, like he had just last minute with deciding that the Predator couldn't see him.
He couldn't see me.
He's full of ideas. He's an idea man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's going to get real MacGyver here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good call. MacGyver, Home Alone, before Home Alone, may I point out? MacGruber, before MacGruber.
Yeah. He's the original. He's the original Kevin McAllister. Isn't that his name?
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Wow, that was a pull.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is Kevin McAllister. Kevin.
Kevin. What's his uncle say? Look what you did, you little shit, or something like that.
He's a little jerk, but yeah.
Oh, you little jerk. That makes more sense in a family movie.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might throw a shit in there too.
No, you're right. It's jerk. You're right.
Okay, you looked it up.
That sounds right.
Okay.
That sparked in my brain that's correct.
We'll drop it in there. Don't worry.
Yeah, right.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
That's probably what he meant to say, you little shit. But
you little shit. He wanted to say you little shit.
He remembered he was on a family film.
Right.
Look what you did, you little.
It's a good part for him. He didn't want to lose it.
Aren't they all just drinking like regular Pepsi in that scene?
Yeah. Oh, doesn't it make you want like an old school Pepsi when they're doing that?
I know. And like that's back in the day when like you'd have a family dinner and people would just be passing around a 2-liter of like regular soda. Just no big deal. Like no one even thought twice about it.
Hey, funny story. So you mentioned that, and like, yeah, clearly I don't do that anymore as part of my family dinners, and maybe people out there still do that. But when Sarah and I went on a student-teacher trip to China, a lot of our meals were accompanied by a bevy of 2-liter Coca-Cola beverages. So you'd have your Coca-Cola 2-liter, your Sprite 2-liter, your Diet Coke, maybe a Barks root beer if you're lucky. And that would be right on the Lazy Susan in the middle of the round table, along with all the Chinese food.
Entire 2-liter?
Yeah, just 2 liters just going around to the table. Just this is your beverage. Like, yeah, you can have some water, but don't you Americans want this? Or maybe China's a little bit behind in the culinary dinner.
Have some Mountain Dew, you capitalist pig.
Do the do.
Is that what they're saying? Yeah. It's the choice of a new generation. Sorry, I only drink Red Fire Gamer Dew. Whatever the fuck that is.
I believe that was Code Red, Jeff.
Code Red. That's what it. Code Red. It's for gamers.
It's for gamers. That's extreme. I was just thinking about Mountain Dew the other day. It's
Mountain Dew's good, man. It's for like terrible for you, sugary, caffeinated garbage. Like it is so good.
I haven't had Mountain Dew in forever, but I've had Cokes in the last few years.
There's a little hole in the wall teriyaki joint, as there often is at every corner in the state of Washington. Yeah. And I love hole in the wall teriyaki joints. And there's one in particular that's near where I work that with any order of food, you get a free can of soda from their cooler.
Oh.
12-ounce can. And so they got a whole bunch of stuff in there. And I don't really drink sodas very much at all anymore. On this particular day, I was in there and I was like, I get a free soda? And they had Mountain Dew. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna have a Mountain Dew.
For the dew.
I haven't had 46 grams of sugar in a really long time, and God, it lived up. It was delicious.
Did you go snowboarding right afterward?
I went and jumped off a cliff and pulled my parachute and landed on a wave board.
Maybe built a trap.
Yeah, did it. Yeah, built a trap.
It's a trap.
Do you think what would Dutch be drinking here in this next section? Would he be drinking a Mountain Dew as he's building this trap?
Oh my God, how funny would that be if he looked up from his trap building and just took a big old swig of Mountain Dew and then smiled at the camera?
He smiled like, stick around. It's gonna get good in more ways than one.
Mountain Dew.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about the next part. So let's just dive in if you're all done with the first part.
Yeah, okay, dive in. Second part, second 45-ish to the end.
Do it.
Do it. Oh, I'm doing it. This episode has devolved horribly.
Devolved. Okay.
Hey.
Mountain Dew, you're welcome for the Predator Minute bump, by the way.
Seriously, yeah.
40 guys are going to go drink Mountain Dew tonight.
A code red specifically. Oh, shit. I got some soda questions for you when we're done. I'll bring them up later.
All right.
Okay. Second part, we cut to Dutch tying downward pointy wooden spears or stakes to these roots with some vines. We cut to Dutch kind of stabbing his knife into a root to hold it there for later, and then we see him lowering a bundle of vines between the roots. And we just kind of get this shot of this contraption or trap. I think we're supposed to assume that he's building.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
And it's a whole bunch of spears that he's kind of just attached to this thing. I'm just going to throw it to you, John. What do you make of this little contraption here?
How dare you? Because in my notes, one of my first notes is, I don't know how this trap is supposed to work. I have never known. Never known.
Well, I knew that was your answer. I was sparking conversation, John.
But man, if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess that he's making something that is meant to funnel the predator into a certain area and then have that drop on the predator. But possible spoiler alert for minute 97 or 97. I don't believe we ever see this trap in motion, which I think. I mean,
is that true?
I think spoiling it for later.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Like you see later on the predator not taking the bait, going around it, and like we never actually see this trap in motion. So that's part of the reason is I don't know how it's supposed to work. It's like the noodle incident all over again. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna set up this special trap, which I'm not gonna give away, but I've named this trap over and over again for some entertainment purposes later.
If he's trying to lure the predator down underneath, then we have to assume that he's rigged something in some way that's going to make this thing fall, right?
Yes,
pointy side down. We just never really see the specifics of how that's supposed to work. We don't really see any sort of tripwire or release mechanism, I don't think, that I recall.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I do see how it works.
Okay. Do we find out later? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly how it works now, and somehow I never knew. It's totally opposite of how I thought it was going to work. So
do you want to bring that up now or wait till that minute?
I'll wait to that minute, but just to look ahead, I believe this trap looks a lot different in function than how I had pictured it all my life. So I have a much better idea now that I know a little bit more about traps. Traps.
Mac.
All right. Well, what else do we have to say about this little 15-second section?
Well, it's setting up something that we're not going to see for a long time. It's very Home Alone-y. It's very MacGyver-y in that.
MacGruber-ish.
MacGruber. 15 seconds, MacGruber.
Would that be MacGrubish? MacGruber-ish? MacGrubish?
Little MacGruber-ish.
That's an underseen gem. The MacGruber movie is really quite funny.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie. I've just seen all the little shorts.
The movie
watch it sometime.
Is way better than you would think it would be.
Is that on Netflix? Can we Netflix party that?
Oh, shit. Let's find out.
As you're looking up that, I just think this is a really neat, way to show this and put it off for a really long time. It's not like he's setting this trap and we see it used really shortly after. There's a full 15 minutes of movie, and this is like the climactic third act. It's incredible that he said it this early. I know it's later in the movie now, but like when he and the predator are having that climactic "kill me" scene, that's 15 minutes later. That's like a huge chunk of movie still to go before you see this trap in action or this trap setting later on. Did you find it?
MacGruber is not on Netflix, although Hot Rod is.
Oh, I love Hot Rod. We could definitely
you
watch
do?
Hot Rod. I love that movie.
That's another movie that I feel like not enough people have seen. Yeah, Hot Rod is great. I was checking Amazon Prime, but then I realized you can't Netflix party Amazon Prime. So
Yeah, there's probably an Amazon Prime party somewhere, but
maybe. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh, no problem. No problem. But this is a little false internet movie database goof I've seen where people say, this is the knife that he threw away in the stick around scene. You and I both know that is not the case. That was
not the knife, people.
Stick around.
That's not the knife. That was a 20-pound machete made specially for Dutch for Arnold by I can't remember who. Maybe the same guy who makes the life support system knives made for Arnold and Commando and in this movie with all the team members.
Well, it did support that guy on the post, so it's a good name.
Stick around.
Yeah, that should have been the life support 2 knife, or I don't know, the life support ending knife.
Bud Light life support knife.
Thanks, Bud Light. Oh, is that what he's drinking when he's making this trap? Oh, poor Arnold.
Oh,
sorry. Good old fashioned domestic beer. So, good job supporting the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has some light support knives in Commando. I see you looked that up. Is that right?
Yeah, this is a repeat of notes from minute 24.
Oh, okay.
Nearly an hour ago in the movie. If you remember when he cut the belts around the truck's wheel during the camp attack, when he's doing that right next to South American Mama Fratelli.
That's right. South American Mama Fratelli. Just hanging out.
Your mother boys.
Trusted your old mother boys.
But that knife right there he used was not the stick around knife either. That one came from like a bootstrap holster, and this one I think is coming from like a waist holster. So this guy is just loaded with knives, I think is the point. Hey, the point. Hey.
What we learn here is that just Dutch has just a shitload of knives. He's just got them strapped all over his body, and he can just bodies. And
Just bodies.
He can just grab one whenever he needs it.
How many knives have you ever carried, Jeff, at one point? What's like the highest number?
Oh, number of knives I've had on my body?
Yeah.
I suppose it would have to be like if I was camping or something.
Right.
Probably just 2.
Yeah.
I've probably had a pocket knife, like a Swiss Army knife in my pocket or backpack while holding like a utility knife. I'm just going to say 2. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 sounds about right for me too. Back in my Boy Scout days, you do a lot of whittling, basically just sharpening sticks for whatever reason.
For Boy Scouts?
I'm going to go whittle behind the tree.
I'm going to go over here and whittle for a bit.
Go whittle in my sleeping bag. And you whittle all night. Who am I kidding? Like 5 minutes. All right.
That's your whittle bag.
Everybody earns their whittle merit badge.
My whittle badge when I was like 10.
So like you would have my Swiss Army knife, and then I'd have some kind of lock blade knife for the whittling. Hey, speaking of the whittling, can I talk about some nicknames I created for this trap he's setting up?
Please. What do you got?
So I did one better. I also went ahead and named the net trap. Do you remember the trap the team first sets up?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think one of the important things to look at right here with this minute is the difference in traps. Like that net trap was something I might nickname like a soft trap or trap that's not meant to kill. Clearly, in this case, was just capture. It's a capture trap. This trap is definitely meant for killing. It's meant to just stone cold kill the predator. It's a death trap. So I went ahead and I named both traps. So you can tell me which names you like, and then at the end you can tell me maybe which name you like the best.
Okay.
I think I have an idea. I'm going to save the best ones, I think, for last, in my own opinion. So some of the net trap names I came up with were the Way Up. Snare-do-well.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. The breadbasket.
Okay.
Uplift. It's all right. Catch of the day.
Oh, very nice.
And my personal favorite was Nothing But Net.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I like Nothing But Net, and also Snare-do-well is quite clever.
Thank you. All right. This is what I did, by the way, when I was driving to Portland and back yesterday. Right. I was like, man, what can I do for a minute? I want to exercise some creativity. Okay, some of the spike trap names here. Stick Around. That's an obvious one.
Stick around.
Little Stabby.
It's good.
The Ventilator.
Oh, nice.
My Zencaster name today, Pointy Side Down.
Ventilator.
Ventilator, exactly. Ventilator. Watch Your Head.
Nice.
You must be this tall to die.
That's good.
Would You Rather, because it's wood.
I like it. I like
there
it.
You go. The 9 Inch Nails. Holy Head Trap. I should have thrown a Batman in there. Yeah, exactly. Holy Head Trap. Spike Tyson.
Love it.
And my personal favorite was Taking Care of Business.
Yes. Snare-do-well and Taking Care of Business. A lot better than my names. I just had Net Trap Code Red and Bud Light Spiky Trap.
Bud Light Spiky Trap. Brought to you by Bud Light.
Well done. Good names.
Hey, thanks.
Very clever. Yeah, that trip to Portland and back served you well.
It really did. Not only did I pick up a bike, but I picked up some particularly nice names for the traps that Arnold is setting here.
Did you have one of those handheld recorders, kind of like a reporter, and every time you thought of one, you would shout it into the little handheld?
I would hit the little. I had my text app open where I was just texting myself as the recipient, and I would hit the speaker key every time and just say something, and yeah.
Nice. Well done.
Thanks.
I think we've done it. Did you want to talk commentary at all?
I'll talk really briefly, but John McTiernan in his commentary is talking about the length of the bungee cords they used. He said there was over 400-foot long bungee cords used to lift the predator as he was running in the last scene. If you remember us mentioning it looked kind of otherworldly and kind of slowed down, that must have been for the purposes of making it not look too fake if it was in real time speed. We see that's because of these really long bungee cords that we somehow don't see. They somehow hide them really, really well. And I'd be curious if he said something about that, but he didn't.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks, John McCommentary. The other thing he says is the trap building sequence here is not in the original script. In the original script, it just goes from he couldn't see me to making the bow and arrow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That's all I have, though. So if you don't have anything else either.
No, let's jump to recommends.
Yeah, let's jump to recommend. So what do you have to recommend, Mountain Dew?
Besides Code Red, Mountain Dew, and Bud Light Seltzer, I'm going to recommend a movie that I saw. It's an HBO original movie. And as a teacher, I was interested to watch this film when I heard about it. And it is called Bad Education. Have you heard of this?
No.
This is a film that's based on a true story, and it recounts the story of one of the largest embezzlement schemes ever done to a public school district.
Oh, I have heard of this. Yeah. Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman plays the school superintendent. Allison Janney plays basically his number two, and they both are caught embezzling extremely large sums of money by one of the reporters at the high school newspaper. And it just kind of recounts the series of events that happen, and it's stunning the things that people were doing and thought they could get away with for so long. it's also amazing how long they were able to do it without getting caught. And it's pretty good. As a teacher, I was pretty engrossed by it, just kind of going, what? How? What? How would you? Why? So that is, if you have HBO, that is readily available there for you streaming now. But it's pretty good. Bad Education.
Huh. I'll have to check that out. I think we have a internet plan that also gives us HBO randomly, so I'm going to really have to figure out how to access that, because it also has a show, Barry, with Bill Hader, that Sarah and I both really, really want to see because we're huge Hader fans.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes of it. It is good. For whatever reason, I got away from it and haven't yet picked it back up again. But I did really enjoy it. I've heard really good things as the seasons go along. So, yeah, I have to check that out. Or check the rest of it out. What do you got for us this week?
Oh, man. Again, I'm speechless.
He's got nothing, ladies and gentlemen.
Bud Light Seltzer. It's brought to you by Bud Light, this podcast. And then at 82, brought to you by the good people at Bud Light. Have I been listening to a podcast new lately? No, of course not. I'll re-recommend. I know it's lame to re-recommend things, but sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, a Star Wars podcast called a Star Wars podcast called Blast Points. I think they've been just really killing it lately. They've been doing some awesome episodes. For one, in their Patreon feed, they've been breaking down the last season of Clone Wars, which is, I think, a recommend I had for last week.
Mm-hmm.
But it's them breaking those episodes down. I haven't listened to those yet because I'm not that far in Clone Wars, still making my way through that. But they did this awesome commentary of a Star Wars fan film, and then a week later they interviewed the director who made the movie back in, I think, the early 90s. And those are amazing episodes. I think my favorite latest episode, though, it has to be them watching these little video snippets that Ahmed Best made during the filming of The Phantom Menace, Episode 1. If you know Ahmed Best, or if you don't, he's the guy who plays Jar Jar Binks in the prequel movies. It looks like it's Attack of the Clones. He was doing the kind of behind-the-scenes little video snippets. Like, for whatever reason, he had the camera behind the scenes and he was just kind of filming his little interactions with other people. You can find all these little clips on YouTube, and it's really funny just because he seems like a Kevin Peter Hall kind of guy. Like, everybody just loved this guy, Ahmed Best, and just had good interactions with him, and you have all these little behind the scenes moments. And in the podcast, they play the clips for you, and then they break them down a little bit. They talk about the craziness that must have been, filming a brand new Star Wars movie with this kind of, and then having this little behind the scenes look from one of the characters whose character itself was not necessarily beloved. But it's a nifty little look behind the scenes. I think that was called, let me find the actual episode name of Blast Points. It was the Best Ahmed Best on Location Attack of the Clones videos.
Nice.
Yeah. So check that out. Most of my time since we talked has been there's been a lot of podcasts listening to just regular podcasts that I subscribe to, but also on my drive to Portland and back, I was listening to the We Hate Movies Star Wars podcast, just because I think they're so good. So I didn't have anything new to recommend.
Have you been watching the Michael Jordan documentary from ESPN?
No, but you were telling me about how good it was.
Oh, but did I talk about it last week? Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I think we last talked just Sunday or Monday, honestly.
That's right. Well, it's still good, and I still recommend it.
I still recommend it. Awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking great. It's awesome.
Cool, man.
But that's all I got.
That's all I got. So where can people find you, Jeff Glover?
You can find me on the Twitter. I am Carl_Hungus314.
My name is Carl. Ich bin expert.
Jeff Glover on the Twitter sphere. Come follow me there. How about Predator Minute, John?
Well, Predator Minute is also on Twitter, fancy that. At Predator Minute. You can email the show, predatorminute@gmail.com, or you can join the discussion on Facebook in our very, very cool Facebook group called Predator Minute Listeners Palapa.
Target the center of the palapa.
Target the center of the palapa.
Target's the center of the palapa.
So for everything Predator Minute 82, I've been John Zabriskie.
And I'm Jeff Glover, doing the do.
And until next time,
stick around.
Stick around.
Brought to you by Bud Light Seltzer.
Bud Light.